Hello and welcome to the Mid-Range Jimbo Show. I'm Austin.
And I'm Michael, and if you like hearing about NBA content, well, drop a like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Today we're talking about the NBA City Edition jerseys and just our thoughts on them. So first, the Miami Heat jersey, which, they're going back to the Vice theme, which is awesome. I really like it. This Miami Vice jersey is not my favorite, if I'm being honest. I'm not a huge fan of the shading. I still think it looks awesome. I just don't think it's the best of them.
Oh yeah, it's not the best, but it's still really nice. I mean, it's cool that they decided let's do a split color jersey because not every team's ever thought of that idea to do. And for the Vice jerseys, I think it really works. That nice blue and pink, it has a real good contrast to it.
Yeah, and just going with these jerseys, it's not really colors that anybody really uses. Obviously, light blue is used by those old Cleveland jerseys. Houston's using it this year.
Yep, the Lakers had it on their Minneapolis ones. They're bringing that back this year as well.
But it's just not a color that's normally used, and I'm a big fan of having a bunch of different colors and whatnot like that. So overall, it was a very good jersey, just not my favorite of the Vice jerseys.
And it's sad to see that they said going to be the last Vice jersey, which is, oh man, that sucks. This has been some iconic jerseys. Like when they first came out with that first one, that was like, it set the world on fire for a little bit there.
Next, we have the Orlando Magic jersey, which this one I'm not a super big fan of. They are throwing it back to the pinstripes, and the orange is supposed to represent all of the oranges in Florida.
Yeah, the citrus industry, Sunshine State, which Florida is. And I actually really like these jerseys. I think it's a nice mix of the old school, but incorporating their own thing into it with the orange pinstripes. And orange isn't a big use color either. We talked about that with blue. Orange really doesn't get used all that often in the NBA either.
No, we have seen it in the past few years with Utah's jerseys. I know they've had that in their special jerseys, and I believe Denver's had it in one of theirs.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know if I can really think of too many other. I know Orlando used it last year or 2 years ago in there. It was like gray with some orange in it. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I think I like this one a little better because it's that throwback to their old.
Yeah, personally, pinstripe jerseys are just really nice in general. I like how it's an orange pinstripe they got going on. Yeah. It's really cool, I think.
Overall, like I said, I think I like it. I like it better than the last orange jersey they did, but I feel like the Magic has some untapped potential with their jerseys that they just haven't quite seemed to get yet. And now we have the Phoenix Suns jersey, which personally I like it. It kind of goes back to I don't remember what years they used kind of that color scheme for jerseys, but it represents the Valley of the Sun, which is really nice. I think it's great for Phoenix to be using that.
Definitely. It looks cool. It's kind of like if you look at it, it's kind of like Minecraft block.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit, which is pretty cool. It kind of looks like those old school Denver jerseys they had going on. And those, everyone loves those, I think. And this just brings it, but takes it to the Suns, the Valley area, which is really cool. They did a really good job with it. It's basically, a setting sun over the valley, all that stuff. It looks really nice. They did a good job with it.
And the color contrast between you get with basically like the skyline and the setting sun along with all the black. It's just supposed to represent like the night or whatever. If you remember, they're like black Phoenix jerseys that they did.
Yeah.
I believe it was when Bledsoe was still on the team. I really like those. I think black is a great color for Phoenix, especially because they seem to have the right colors to offset it, like their oranges, yellows, and the purple. Those are just great colors to offset.
Right, exactly. Black. And you got like all of that in this jersey, like all those colors you said with the black to offset it. It looks so good with all those colors in there.
Yeah. So now we have the Portland Trail Blazers, which this one is very different for Portland as far as, their color scheme has gone. It's supposed to represent the native ancestors in the region.
Yeah, it's always cool when teams do that, throw it back to like native culture and stuff like that, because it's not something every team does, and I mean, of course, not every team has Native Americans culture where they're from, but it's different for Portland. But I really like the trimming on the side. I think that's the best part of this jersey. It's kind of like a rainbow aesthetic to it a little bit in my eyes, but it really works. It's just the front of it's just kind of too plain for me, I guess.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's the front of it is basically just all black, and it says Oregon with their number offset, which, I mean, it's not bad. I do like it. I just think that the striping on the side, like you said, it really completes the jersey. And I mean, like I said, it's different for them, and I'm quite a big fan of teams, going beyond their normal color palette.
Oh yeah, I love when teams do that. You always got to try and mix it up. I mean, yeah, it's nice, tried and true for some teams, but even if they change it a little bit, people like to see the effort for that, even if it doesn't always work.
Oh yeah. So now we have the Atlanta Hawks jerseys, which I feel like this one probably will be like one of the most popular ones because obviously, it's representing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which to all of the African American fans of the NBA, like, you have to understand how big this is for them, for one of their biggest
civil rights activists.
Yeah, biggest civil rights activists, just having him on a jersey being represented. And I feel like the NBA has really gone with that theme this year with black cultural leaders and stuff like that, which is, in my opinion, it's huge.
Yeah, definitely. It's great. I mean, they've done so much. Like, they always empower the players and stuff. And of course, a lot of players in the NBA are African American, and they're always about empowerment and expressing themselves and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And this really helps with that too. The MLK for what he did for the whole country and all the people in it. Not even just African American people, but just everyone, helping them see, we're all the same. This kind of just brings him closer to that in the world today, brings it into the modern age. And of course, he was huge in Atlanta with all of his, rallies and stuff he had there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for them to have it. It would be either them or like Memphis, since he passed away in Memphis, that would have a jersey like this.
Yeah. So now we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think this is probably one of the first ones that I'm just not really a fan of, because it runs into the same problems as the Trailblazers one, is it's just plain along the front, except they don't have the striping on the sides to, give it a little more pop and whatnot, and not a huge fan of the lettering.
Yeah, me either. I know it's supposed to represent like the rock and roll bands that are like Cleveland based and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like the city's style, I guess. I've never been to Cleveland, so I can't attest any of this, and it's because it's such as like David Bowie and Pink Floyd were like big names from Cleveland and stuff like that. But I feel like unless you look this stuff up, you're not going to know that that's what this represents. It's like, oh, look, here's funny letters on a jersey, kind of.
Well, and if they were going for Pink Floyd, I feel like if they somehow could have gotten like the rights to using the Pink Floyd Prism.
Yeah, I know exactly what you were talking about, with the rainbows and stuff. I don't know the album name, but I'm sure everyone knows kind of what we're talking about, explaining it.
Or if they were going for like David Bowie, I'm sure they could have picked like a different color scheme, because Cleveland has so many different colors to choose from.
Oh yeah, they do. I mean, they have so many just jerseys in general to pick from that they could have thought of something to represent it a lot better, I think.
Or even then, just because like I don't know how much African American culture is really represented by Pink Floyd and David Bowie, that it seems like the kind of theme like was African American culture. Pink Floyd and David Bowie maybe aren't the best representatives of it.
That's true. I mean, and I guess they were just going for the more like rock and roll type of stuff, which it's good to do, but they just didn't execute it the best, I don't think.
So now we have the San Antonio Spurs, which this one is, as soon as you see it, I mean, you immediately know it's a throwback to when they actually had color in their jerseys.
Yep. I mean, I saw this and I'm like, oh, David Robinson.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought of right off the bat. You think the old school Spurs, like I said, David Robinson, George Gervin, guys like that,
Hmm.
and they changed it up from just their black and silver jerseys along with
Yeah.
those camo ones they were wearing, which
Oh, they
weren't the
had the
best
camo.
camo ones.
Well,
Yeah.
it was different enough
Oh
to
yeah,
stand out from the rest
it
of the
it was
league.
different for the Spurs,
Yeah,
especially.
but just adding the teal, pink, and the orange to it, I think really just that little pop of color. I think it really helps the jerseys just stand out a little bit. It gives them a little bit more of an identity than just black, gray, and white.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they definitely they didn't try and go like overboard with it, like make
Hmm.
the whole jersey this color.
Yeah,
They just put the nice stripe across it, which really works for me. I really like it.
yeah, especially considering how conservative San Antonio is with their jerseys.
That's true.
Just not going overboard was a good idea. So next we have the Golden State Warriors, which they're going back to the We Believe
Oh yeah,
Warriors.
that's awesome that they're doing this because everyone knows the We Believe Warriors. They
Oh
were an
yeah.
iconic team. Like you had the Baron Davis, you had Adonal Foyle, Matt Barnes, guys like that. They were kind of like that ragtag bunch of
Hmm.
guys playing, and they actually upset like I think the Mavs that year were like a 67-win team or something crazy like that. They were
Yeah.
a really good team
Oh
that
yeah.
year.
And I mean, how many times in NBA history has an eighth seed beat a one seed?
Oh, it's like four
Yeah.
now, I
So it
think.
just, and I'm pretty sure this is the most recent, if I'm not mistaken. I can't think of anything.
No, the Grizzlies did it after them. I believe
Oh
so.
yeah.
Yeah, against the
Yeah.
Spurs, and that's why they went and got Kawhi.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So just seeing this again, I mean, it's beautiful. It really is.
Yeah, definitely.
So now we have the Brooklyn Nets, which this one I kind of feel is a little similar, like the lettering is similar to the Cleveland, but this is supposed to be representing a local Brooklyn artist who personally I haven't heard of before these jerseys came out.
Right.
His name is Jean-Michel Basquiat, I believe. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not sure on the pronunciation. I'd feel bad if I got it wrong, but I think the splash of color on the sides, which again is supposed to represent his art, which I think that's great. I mean, the splash of color on the side, it kind of reminds me of the D'Lo jerseys, which had those like all the colors on like just the trimming of the jersey, which
Yeah.
I thought they looked pretty cool.
Yeah. It's I one thing I really don't like is like the brackets they got going on the
Hmm.
nets. I don't get that at all. It's just really weird to me, and I don't like it very much if I'm being
Yeah.
completely honest. The only thing that saves it for me is the side of it,
Hmm.
really. Other than that, it's kind of just a mint jersey to me.
I don't know. I think I'm a little bigger on this jersey minus the lettering. That's the only thing that kind of throws it off for me. And I think something that is also big with this jersey is it's kind of textured, kind of like those old Atlanta Hawks jerseys,
Yeah, yeah, and
which
I
I
think
really
those were
like.
kind. I really like them too. I think they were kind of polarizing to some
Hmm.
people, but like we just both said, we both really like them, and yeah, that gives it a little extra something. But I'm still not the biggest fan of these jerseys. They're just not doing it for me.
So next we have the Chicago Bulls, and personally, like I'm a big fan of this one because when you see it, it kind of brings you back to what would I say, like 20s in Chicago, the 1920s.
Yeah,
It's just got that Chicago architecture, the font that they chose for the Chicago word mark across the jersey. I think is just like you can't get that with any other franchise.
right, exactly. It just screams like the history of the
Hmm.
city, really, and of course that's what they were going for because they attributed it to the a big architect in Chicago. And he a black and gold theme, which is really cool for it. And then I can't remember the city planner's name. It was like Daniel something, Daniel Burnham.
Daniel Burnham, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, and so it looks really nice that just Chicago across it. It's what really sells the jersey. If it were any
Yeah.
other font, I don't think it would work as well.
No, I don't think it would. One thing, it's just a small detail, but I like it about the jersey. You probably won't see it on too many players because they have to tuck it in. But just above like the NBA logo, it says "No little plans," which I mean, it. I like those like those little like phrases on jerseys. I've seen them on a few. I don't remember what exactly right now, but I've seen them before, and personally, I'm a fan of them. So overall, I mean, I like the word on the bottom. I think it's really nice. And overall, I think they did a good job with these jerseys.
Definitely, they're really good. It's the font that does it for me. Like I said, it's really nice.
So next we have the Boston Celtics, which I feel like these ones are a little polarizing. I feel like it's either you like it or you don't. When I saw these initially, like the jersey that you're seeing now, I wasn't a huge fan, but I saw it on Jaylen Brown, and it looked a lot better with the shorts. And I think overall, it looks better on the player than it does just in a picture.
Right.
But still, I feel like it's a little uninspiring because I mean, it's just what they called it is it's their banner jersey, so it's supposed to just look like their championship banners.
Right. And that's kind of why I personally like it. It's like they're kind of flexing on people with this. They're like, yeah, we're wearing our banners as a jersey, and not every team even has a banner, and they're like, yeah, we're walking around with wearing them, which is really cool, I think.
Well, even if I feel like if they're really gonna go full out with banners, they should have put like the championship years on the side stripe or whatever.
I mean, they have too many to put there.
Well, no, you could fit like 8 on each side. I feel like it's just a round circle with a year in it.
Yeah,
I mean, they have 17, so I mean, they could probably do 8 on each side and then like one more on the top of the back of the jersey or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they could have done something. Like you said with the Chicago one, they have a quote at the bottom. It's from Red Auerbach, as we know, one of the best coaches ever, led them to a bunch of championships. And it's the Boston Celtics are not a basketball team, they are a way of life. And for the city of Boston, that couldn't be more true, I think.
Oh, do all these jerseys have the little quotes on them? I don't think I've noticed that yet. I say I'm just looking through all the jerseys here, and I'm just now noticing that. I think pretty much all of them have quotes.
I don't think so.
I'm noticing quite a few now that do, and personally, like I said, I like that. I think it's just a nice little addition, something that most people wouldn't see, and I don't think you'll see it because players will have their jerseys tucked in. But
right. Yeah, it's nice to have the quote. It adds a little something to it, a little extra, I guess, a kick to it, if the best thing I could think to call it.
So next we have the Charlotte Hornets jersey, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. I mean, I think I do like the mint kind of color that they're going for, and obviously, it's a tribute to the U.S. like mint, and the Carolina Gold Rush, and granite apparently is the rock of North Carolina, which I didn't know before this, but who knows state rocks.
Yeah, we're just learning things from this as well. And I really like this jersey. I think they did a great job with the mint color works. You have the little lines on it as well, kind of
pinstripes.
Little pinstripes. It's not fully pinstripe. It's like 4 of them or 5 of them, but it just really works. I think that kind of like yellow oranges with that kind of, I don't even know what color to call that, kind of a different kind of blue color. And I think it just really works for it. It gives it a little extra something, a little extra pop to it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, they used to have the pinstripes on their jerseys, so I mean, this is going back to that. And I mean, like we said before, pinstripes on NBA jerseys, I mean, they usually look pretty good. And just going back to that, I mean, that's a win right there. And something that this jersey will have that others don't is the Jordan logo instead of the Nike logo.
That's true. Very true.
That's interesting. I mean,
yeah. It'll be nice to see like LaMelo Ball suited up in this, watching him playing it. It'll be super cool. I like the Buzz City too.
Yeah. So next we have the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think this is probably the first one where I'm just not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, it's really it's just different from what they normally do, which is always nice to try new things. I just don't think they hit the mark with this one. I wish we had a picture of the shorts with this, because I believe how you see the colors kind of coinciding with each other in the wave. It also does that on the shorts with a different color. Yeah. So it it's like a 3 different part color outfit in full, whereas we don't get that full effect here. But it still just doesn't work for me overall.
I mean, I get what they were going for because the name Milwaukee has been referred to as the gathering place by the water, and the same with the Trailblazers jersey. It's referencing native culture, which, in my opinion, that's big.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
There's
that's
not
awesome.
enough native representation in popular media and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really cool that they do that. It's just, I feel like they could have done something other designed to make it more apparent for that. This just kind of looks like they're just trying like to make 3 colors look good together. That doesn't really work together.
And I'm pretty sure they've used this lighter blue before. Not in a jersey, but it was on a court. They had those black and green Milwaukee Bucks jerseys. And I believe I remember from their court that year when they wore those jerseys on the court, there was blue somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where, but I remember that blue.
Okay.
So next we have the Denver Nuggets jersey, which, I mean, I'm a big fan of these. It goes along that City of Love theme that they had. I believe that's what they called them.
I think it was what they called it, yeah. And this is just taking that and making it different, and they did it perfectly. It looks so nice, and it represents, kind of the landscape of Colorado because it's so outdoorsy and stuff. And this is, I don't want to say like kind of dirt, but kind of that like.
Well, it kind of is like the reddish.
The reddish
clay dirt.
Yeah, the red clay dirt that you can find in Colorado, and it just works on a jersey somehow. It's really weird to say that dirt can work on a jersey, but with this, it really makes it work, and it adds some nice colors with like the mountains in there too, with them being all white and stuff in the background.
Well, I mean, this is pretty close to their color scheme that they've been doing. The red that they have on their jerseys is the darker red, kind of like this, and I mean they do have gold normally.
Yeah, definitely.
Nuggets.
Yep.
So I think just using kind of those colors, I think it works. Like I said, I'm a big fan of it. So next we have the Houston Rockets, which I am not 100% sure how I feel about these jerseys. I'm not quite sold on them yet. I do like the lighter blue color, but I'll have to see it in game first for me to make an opinion.
Yeah, I'm the same exact way. It's just I'm indifferent to it at this point. It doesn't really call to me, but I don't absolutely hate the jersey either. Of course, it's supposed to be a nod to the Houston's flag, which is really cool that they're doing that. Because normally, they've done like Chinese themes too for representation of Chinese, players and stuff like that, and people. And I don't know if it's just like the H-Town part of it. I don't really like too much, or what it is. I think I'll like it better when I see players playing in it. But right now, I'm just really indifferent to it.
I'll say I don't think I've ever heard anybody refer to Houston as H-Town.
Yeah,
it just feels like a weird name to call it because it doesn't. It's not shorter than Houston.
Exactly.
Houston rolls off the tongue better than H-Town.
Yeah, exactly. They could have just called like Houston because it's the Houston flags. Just call it Houston on the jersey.
Yeah. So next we have the Indiana Pacers, which this one, it really goes back to their 90s and early 2000s, with the pinstripes, the color scheme, because I think it is slightly different now. Like, granted, they don't go more for the blue like they used to, but I feel like the blue that they do use is a slightly different color.
I think it is. It kind of looks darker to me, and I think it might be because the pinstripes aren't as pronounced as they were on the older jerseys. That might be it too.
It could be.
And I think that might be it, but it's, of course, like you said, it's the jerseys they wore back in the day. You see this and you think, oh, it's Reggie Miller, Jermaine O'Neal, Rick Schmitz, guys like that.
Ron
Artest, guys we all know. And it's then you bring that in the modern age where you have like Victor Oladipo is going to be hooping in this, or like their all-star Domantas Sabonis, guys like that are now Malcolm Brogdon, faces of their franchise now.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it's a solid job with the jersey. When you see this jersey, even if it didn't have Indiana Indiana on there, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's a Pacers jersey.
Exactly. Yep. It's brand recognition.
Yeah. So next we have the New Orleans Pelicans, and personally, I like this jersey. It does kind of reference the New Orleans flag, kind of the way Houston does and Chicago has done in the past. I like it. It kind of reminds me of the Kansas Jayhawks jersey, just a little bit with the blue and the red. But overall, I like it. I mean, it's got the fleur de lis on there, which is, I mean, that just screams New Orleans. Either that or Quebec, but
definitely, yeah. It's like you see it, and I always think the Saints because obviously that's also their logo. But
yeah,
I don't know why we're very split on this jersey because I really don't like this jersey. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't work for me, and I don't know. I think maybe like I said with others, when I see players playing it, it might change. But it's just I don't like the red, white, blue coloring on it. I don't think it works that well, especially with the little, what were they called again? I don't know the name.
Fleur de lis.
The fleur de lis, they don't really work for me all that much on the jersey. Maybe if there was only like one of them, but with like the three of them, I don't really like it. And I'm not sure exactly why I don't like it. It's just I don't for some reason.
I think maybe they probably could have done a better job if they had the fleur de lis maybe going down like the side of the jersey like we've seen other teams do with the different colors and whatnot. But if they did that, they'd have to put something else across the chest because without it, it would just be plain.
I mean, they could just put New Orleans or something across it.
Yeah, they could do that. So next we have the Dallas Mavericks, which I think this jersey is really nice. I mean, obviously, it kind of looks a little plain just because, you know, it's mostly lighter colors. Like even the gold on there, like it still looks a little lighter. But, I mean, overall, I like this jersey. I think it'll look even better on the players.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It's just the gold that I really like on it. Like you said, it's kind of plain with all the white on it, but the gold really sells it for me. Mm-hmm. And I know they're doing it as like honoring the 10th anniversary of their championship run from 2011. And also the sides are supposed to be wings of a Pegasus.
Yeah.
Because apparently that's a big thing in Dallas, I guess, like the mythology. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, before. I don't really get that. I don't know why it's big down there. And I mean, I guess a Maverick's a horse, Pegasus is a flying horse, so it kind of works. But
well, I thought a Pegasus was a flying unicorn.
I mean, we're kind of arguing semantics at this point with that, but I think it really does work overall with it. It's something really different and it doesn't do too much. Mm-hmm. It does a lot with a little, I guess is the best way we can look at it.
And like, even though the number isn't centered, I still feel like, you know, it kind of, it works with the name because it kind of makes this like little L shape sort of whatever. I really like the overall design of this jersey. So next we have the Los Angeles Lakers, which, I mean, this is a throwback to the jerseys that they wore while they were in Minneapolis. I think they wore them a couple of years ago, too, if I'm not mistaken. I remember a blue and white jersey, but maybe that was more blue instead of, like, they're swapping the colors.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember these, and I feel like I would is the thing, because they're so iconic jerseys.
I mean, I could be thinking about the Minneapolis ones, which have the light blue and, like, the gold with them.
Yeah.
I could be mistaken, but I thought they wore this design before. But again, I could be wrong. But I mean, this is just a classic Lakers jersey. I mean, going back with the blue and white, I mean, it's Minneapolis colors. And I mean, it just looks good.
Yeah, it just looks really nice. The blue, you know, and like we said with Miami Vice, not a lot of teams use the blue coloring, but it really does work here with the Lakers jersey, and it's just really nice to see that they are going back to honor when they were in Minneapolis, and this is like back when Elgin Baylor played basketball. It was a long time ago, of course.
Well, and one thing, just like the Miami Vice jerseys, is I wonder if this blue is really going to be as light as it looks in this picture. Because, I mean, obviously a lot of teams wear blue, but the light blue is what's different about it, which I like, because, I mean, that's one of my favorite colors, honestly. But I wonder how this exactly will look on the court, like just the exact color of the blue, because I believe it was fairly light with the Minneapolis jerseys.
I think so too. And I don't know, it might. I think it'll have a nice contrast with like the hardwood on an NBA court
Hmm.
that you'll be able to see it a lot better, even
Yeah,
though it's lighter blue, like we've been saying it is.
yeah. So next we have the Memphis Grizzlies jerseys, which I'll kind of let Austin just take this over because they're his team.
I really love these jerseys,
Mhm.
and I think the consensus is most people do.
Yeah,
They're just so clean looking, and of course, they're paying tribute to a singer songwriter who was a legend with like the soul, funk, and disco era, Isaac Hayes.
yeah,
He's
right in
just
the '60s and
yeah around that time
stuff.
period, and it's awesome to see them still doing that. They love to honor the city with its
Hmm.
musical culture and stuff like that. And the thing that sells it for me is not only that lettering on it and the coloring of it,
Hmm.
but also the side with like the G and all the like different things they have going on there. I don't know everything that's
Yeah.
on the side there, but it all just looks so nice.
Well, there's kind of an M and then a G. I'm pretty sure it's just Memphis Grizzlies.
Right.
But I mean, it kind of looks like there's some other stuff in there. I don't know exactly what like style
Hmm.
I would call it, but I mean, it just looks good.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give props to Memphis. We know how to make jerseys over there. We've done some awesome city jerseys and
Yeah.
some really cool old school, like the Sound jerseys, those red ones with the cursive lettering on it were super nice, I
Hmm.
thought, too. So we've always just done pretty well with jerseys.
Oh yeah. And next we have the New York Knicks, which this one I'm not super sold on.
Me
Uh,
either. I like the theme of, City Never Sleeps,
yeah.
which is totally perfect for New York City. It's just, I
Hmm.
feel like they could have done something that making that into a basketball shape. It just seems kind of uninspired to
Yeah.
me.
This one just kind of seems like, they just kind of threw it together last minute. Like, it's super plain on the front. Obviously, they have the colors on the sides, but like, they use black as one of the colors in the shading, which it kind of makes it look like there's nothing like underneath the armpit there. And then it just goes into blue and orange. And I just feel like, there's a few teams that I feel like left a lot of potential out there.
Yeah,
Um,
this is definitely one of them. The
yeah.
one thing I will say is I love how they incorporate the NYC into
Hmm.
the Nike logo. The Nike logo that looks really nice.
Yeah. But overall, I wish they would have at least like done a little more.
Right. They could have done like a New York skyline or something like that. That
Hmm.
would have been pretty cool.
Next, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves, which, uh, I mean, this is sometimes referred to as the North Star State, apparently. I've always known it as the land of 10,000
Right,
lakes.
exactly.
But they have that little North Star up there. But other than that, I mean, it's not too much. I do like the neon green and kind of, it's like I don't want to exactly say this is black. It's almost like it's just a really dark gray. It doesn't seem quite black to me. But then they have the just regular gray lettering, which I mean it's fine. I think it's a little weird that it just says Min, like the abbreviation for Minnesota. That's not my favorite, but overall, I think they're decent jerseys.
Yeah, I like them because it's really just kind of plain, but it works with just that little star there. And
Hmm.
if you know the history behind it, if you look it up, be like, oh, that makes sense. And it just
Yeah.
for what it is, it looks really cool. I
Hmm.
think, and the like you said, that neon on it is really really good. I think.
Hmm. Well, I mean, it's also a reference to the Minnesota North Stars, the hockey team that used to be there. I mean, I'm a huge hockey fan, so
Oh,
seeing that in there is just like, I mean, it's kind of cool, but if they're gonna try and pay homage to the Minnesota North Stars, I feel like there's a lot of potential that they just kind of didn't take advantage of. So next we have the Detroit Pistons, and honestly, I'm a little disappointed.
yeah, I think everyone is with this one. It's kind of the same thing every year with the Detroit. I know you being a Pistons fan,
Mhm.
you have some things to say about this.
Yeah, it's just like they've done this Motor City where they have the words in a circle. They did the gray one, they did a red one, and now they're doing blue. It's just like nobody was a fan of them the first time you did it. Why do it again and then again?
Yeah,
Like the NBA's theme this year. I mean, not every team has done it, but a lot of teams have gone with the African American culture, and it's just like
yeah.
there's so much
That's
black history in Detroit that
Yeah, it's
You,
so prominent there. I don't get why you don't go for it. Because, like you said, even Native American culture, they've been paying
mhm.
tribute to that a lot. I mean, even teams have been going, throwing it back to their 90s jersey. I'd love to see those Pistons,
Oh
like,
yeah, the teal. Just throw
yeah,
some teal in there,
yeah.
man.
Or that one with the horse on it, with the
Yeah.
fire coming out of
hmm
the
The
exhaust at the
Zephyr
end.
Zephyr
Yeah,
jerseys.
yeah, those were so nice. Like, throw it back to something like that and
Yeah.
put a spin on it. But doing this for 3 years straight, it
Yeah.
just looks so bad.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess I get what they're going for, a Motor City, even though a lot of the auto manufacturers have kind of just up and left the city. Kind of like Memphis has done with their music culture. Motown Records was huge in Detroit, and so many black artists have been a part of that that it's just like you couldn't have just tried to go with one. You just had to run with the same idea again. But overall, just I'm really disappointed, and that's as a Pistons fan. So next we have the Oklahoma City Thunder, which I mean these ones are really interesting if you ask me. It's just like it's completely different from any style that we've seen. Just the stripe going across the chest. I don't remember the last NBA team that I've seen do that.
Yeah, me either. I mean, obviously, you can think of, like, the Spurs ones that we've already seen. They have
Mhm.
that going on a little bit, but this is just different even from that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the two colors that are on different sides. Like, obviously the Vice has that, but this has the line, then two different colors of
hmm
jersey. And I know it's supposed to be the state flag in a
hmm
way, not the city flag, which a lot of teams have done. This is the
Yeah.
state flag.
Well, I mean, Oklahoma City is a small market that it just makes more sense to, just go with the whole state because, I mean, you pull in a lot more people that way.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're not bad jerseys. It's just they're I don't know. It's just something about them that looks a little off to me.
I mean, I think it might be just like the blue kind of has some stripes in it that kind of makes it look like it has this gradient
It does
going on.
definitely.
Um, but I mean, personally, I like it. It kind of reminds me of the Buffalo Braves jerseys a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, true.
but I mean, overall, I mean, it's a solid jersey. The colors work together the
Yeah.
best. Next, we have the Philadelphia 76ers, which personally I really like that they're going back to the black jerseys. They had those black Philadelphia jerseys before.
hmm
Um, I'm not gonna say I'm a huge fan of the what they call the boathouse row.
Right.
Um,
So yeah,
Not a huge fan of just how that looks across the jersey, and it's mirrored, which I think is a little weird.
yeah. I think it's supposed to obviously because it's on the water, so it mirrors
hmm
off of the water, of
Yeah.
course, which is what they're doing with it there. I don't know if it's just the way it's put onto there. It looks really off, all the lines on it and everything
hmm
too. I mean, I think it's really cool that it's like Ben Simmons was the one who requested these black jerseys to come back, and
Yeah.
they were like, I think it was something like win Rookie of the Year, and then you can talk like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, let's do this then. And obviously, I know I think it was Allen Iverson put something on his Twitter of like the old black jerseys from their like finals run in 2000, and
hmm
with that star on it, and people thought they were just gonna bring that back. So people might be kind of disappointed in these, even
I
though they
mean,
look good.
if they brought back the old Iverson 2001 jerseys and just made them the current Philadelphia colors, people would have jumped all over that. Like,
That's true. I mean, you can't really please Philly fans. They're kind of crazy.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, overall, the color scheme is good. It's just I don't like the boathouse row. Next, we have the Sacramento Kings, which I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think I'll have to see this one on the court as well. It's just they kind of mashed up all of the past jerseys they've done.
Right. They just threw like they're like, okay, let's go back through our team's history, like let's say 30 years, and make a jersey out of
Yeah,
all of it. And I don't like the Sac Town either. I
yeah,
don't know what it is with like abbreviations like H Town as well. I just don't
mhm,
feel like it works for me
yeah.
on most of them.
Well, I mean, there's a few that do work. Like I like Charlotte's Buzz City, and obviously there's Portland with Rip City. But like
Those are
when
kind of nicknames though. This is like
yeah,
just shortening the city to be like calling like the Minnesota ones like
yeah.
Mintown or something like that. It doesn't work.
But like just there was one jersey that it really reminded me of. Just seemed like the H Town and Sac Town. It was the Milwaukee jerseys from a couple years ago where they had Cream
Oh
City
yeah,
on
Cream
there.
City on it. Yeah.
Oh, it was, in my opinion, I thought it was so bad because nobody calls Milwaukee Cream City. Obviously, they were making
Yeah,
reference to the
Dairyland
dairy
and
industry
stuff like
there,
that's
but
what it is, but it's like Cream City just kind of sounds a bit off to people, I
it's a
think.
little sus.
Yeah, you just be like, you see those Cream City jerseys? People are like, what are you talking about,
Yeah.
bro?
But overall, I mean, I kind of like how the red and blue in there. It's kind of like they changed the stitching or something that it kind of looks purple if you're far away. When you get up close, you can see the details.
Yeah,
But
it kind of gives off a neon vibe from a distance
yeah,
a
a
little
little
bit.
bit.
And
Yeah.
I do like the checkers down the side too. That's a
Yeah.
nice touch. I do
Well,
enjoy that.
that's a reference to their '90s jerseys, I believe.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep.
So next we have the Toronto Raptors, and as soon as I saw this one, I was like, immediately that's Drake OVO, and I get it. That's a big part of Toronto's fan base is
Oh yeah.
Drake. So
Everyone knows Drake in Toronto, how he's a huge fan. You see the picture of him in the locker room with the guys, stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's like
Yeah.
they're like put Drake on the team for a day or something like the
Yeah.
like the Mavericks did with Tony Romo and stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
they should do that with Drake or something. But it's cool that they always do that. Drake's such a big part of their city that they
Mhm.
always incorporate him into stuff like this somehow.
yeah, and black and gold. I mean, it works. I think it really does. I mean, it's a good palette.
Yeah, the only thing I would kind of like to see on it is maybe with that line across the bottom, if they did like 3 of that for like a raptor claw going across it
Oh,
or
yeah,
something. That would be
that'd
about
be
the
nice.
only thing I would really think I'd like to see on it.
Either that, or maybe they could have done some striping down the sides.
That
'Cause
too.
I feel like the teams that left that off really shouldn't have.
Right.
So next we have the Los Angeles Clippers, and personally, I'm not a fan of it. It is a reference to their street culture. I know there's a graffiti artist, Royal Dog, but I'm not a huge fan of the font. When they did those dark blue jerseys this past season, I didn't like it, me personally, and that's just a personal thing.
I
But
think the font, it always reminds me of like GTA.
yeah. Oh my god, I didn't think of that.
Right? I know. It's like GTA San Andreas, but just
Yeah.
GTA Los Angeles now.
But these jerseys just remind me of like, you just take off Los Angeles, put San Antonio there. That's a Spurs jersey. That's what it seems like to me.
Basically, yeah.
But I feel like they probably could have done something else, with in the past being the Buffalo Braves and then being in San Diego. I feel like they had more to go with, or more to choose from.
Right. They
in
could
their
have just
history.
paid homage to one of those teams like we've seen a lot of teams do with not even a basketball team, but like Minnesota with hockey and stuff like that.
And I mean, they basically chose to do black culture instead of team history with this, which that's nice. Just personally, this jersey is not my favorite. So next we have the Utah Jazz, which I really like this jersey. The color gradient, going from the dark to the light. I kind of wish it was down a little bit more, but I feel like that might be too similar to. I know they did a color gradient in the past couple years. I don't remember exactly what year, but
Yeah, I think it was just like 2 years ago, maybe Donovan Mitchell's rookie year even, where they
Yeah.
did stuff like that. And obviously, it's supposed to be like the red orange is like because of the like rocks in Utah.
Yeah.
All those like I don't know what they call them, but those kind of arches.
the red rocks, and
Yeah, the
you
red
can
rocks
see the
and
sun
stuff.
through them.
Yep, stuff like that, and it works really well. It just looks
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
It kind of has that same kind of color like those Denver jerseys do,
Yeah.
and it just works.
Yeah, I mean, I think it works. This is going to look fantastic on the players, on the court and stuff. It's just, I don't know. I feel like the bottom is a bit plain. Just because, like I said, I feel like they should have shifted down the color gradient. It just, like, the bottom just ends up being a little plain. But you won't see too much of it because it'll be tucked in.
Right, exactly. They did a really good job with it. Maybe some something on the side. Maybe just put those colors on the side too to give it a little more pop down all the way to the bottom, like you were saying. But that's about the only thing I could think of for it.
And so finally, we have the Washington Wizards, the last team in this. And personally, I'm just like, this is pretty much the same jersey. Did they do this last year?
I think it was last year they did this, and it's like the only thing they added was that stars and stripes on the side, which I think that's a cool touch.
Yeah, but I like it.
Other than that, it's the same jersey, and it's like, come on. Like, I get that, you may not have too many ideas, you might not be able to think of something new, but you have to try something, add something to it, because some of these jerseys, like the Utah one's pretty similar, but it still looks really good because they just changed it up a bit. Like, do that here.
Well, I don't remember exactly what the jerseys looked like, but I don't think they were gray the last time they did it.
I'm not sure. Maybe they were just straight white. I'm not completely sure on that.
So I guess that's different, but it's just, I said this about a few other jerseys. It's just plain. Like that front, other than the DC logo, it's got the number, but it's just, there's nothing else to it. It's monotone, one color. I feel like they have to do something else because there's a large black population in DC and the surrounding area that you think they could have picked up something.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one thing I kind of thought of that, I don't know how they could incorporate this, but I thought it'd personally be cool. Have like the ball spinning on the Washington Monument or something, like the tip of it.
Yeah, they could do that.
That'd be cool.
They kind of did that with, it was like their secondary logo or something a few years ago.
Right, where it was incorporated into the ball, And it's like, maybe have it like, because you have the hand reaching up, maybe make that the Washington Monument or something, have the ball sitting on top of it. I think that would look pretty cool. It's something different, and it incorporates a big landmark in DC into your jersey.
Even that, because I know with all of the racial tension recently, just like not having the flag on the side, having maybe the Washington Monument there or something. Just I feel like there's a lot of lost potential with this jersey. I feel like there's probably more they could have done.
Like, I mean, think DC's our capital, and how much history is there that they can pull from, and they don't. They put the American flag on there. That's it. It's any team could do that and just be like, we're being patriotic. Like, they could pull from so much. Like, you have the Lincoln Memorial, stuff like that. Like I said, Washington Monument, White House, something to use.
Yeah, and I mean, Wizards fans love Gilbert Arenas even to this day. I mean, he's still in pop culture just with his podcast interviewing players and stuff like that.
People know he's a name. Everyone knows him. Agent Zero. Everyone loved watching him play. It was super fun to watch. So do something with him, because your team is obviously, they need that kind of like a recognition. So use a player that everyone recognizes and bring it and incorporate him into a jersey somehow, or his old jersey, not him into the jersey, of course.
So overall, just not really a fan of this jersey. And that's it. So if you guys enjoy this video, drop a like. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, let us know which one's your favorite jersey. I know everyone's going to have different opinions, but we'd really like to hear from everyone. Personally, of course, I'm a little biased. I really love the Memphis ones.
Everybody loves those.
Yeah, I'd say either those or Miami Vice are probably my favorite jersey.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching.